Hey, it's Jay Chatfield, Loving Yourself to Life. This is brought to you by Grace Guidance Production, where we motivate you to heal, inspire you to live, and encourage you to live your life on purpose. Okay, I hope this don't be too long, because for me, this was almost a trigger of my healing. Now there's a trigger of your trauma, and then there's a trigger of your healing. Trigger of your healing isn't a bad thing, but it makes you just want to share more about what it means to be healed. Now, I am creating a group, and I've just explained in the previous video of how I'm putting it out there for people in the area to get together to build community. Building community is so important. But I found that people don't want to build community is because they have a lot of trauma within themselves that stops them from getting the support for proper healing. And the proper healing comes from people who have healed, that could come around you, support you, and have patience with you to heal. As I talk about all the time, if you have not had the patience to heal yourself, you don't have the patience to help someone else heal. Because it takes time, it takes understanding, and then it takes a stern hand. Like, I'm not about to let you go do this again, and you're not going to come to me and say you're going to go do it, and I'm going to okay it. I'm going to tell you, this is not your plan, sis. This is not your plan, bro. Okay? I was listening to this young lady, and I always tell you guys, I get passionate about this because I know how great it can be when you heal, right? She just told this young man that she was teaching her 3 daughters to stay away from toxic men. Okay, that's not the problem of teaching them to stay away from toxic men. It will be in the future. I'm gonna break this down to you. So, something happened to the mom. Something very tragic that broke her spirit belief in the men that she was dating. So she keeps cycling and keeps seeing these men that she's, wants to get away from. Excuse me. Why? Why do you keep seeing and meeting the men that you're trying to get away from? That is because maybe you've prayed, asked whoever your belief is in, that you really wanted something better in your life. In order for you to get to the better, you got to get rid of the thing that's drawing these men into your life. I almost said mans. You have to get rid of whatever is drawing these men into your life. Until you're going to keep seeing one after another. And sometimes you may see one or meet somebody that takes care, or that shows the characteristics of what you want to see. But what your trauma will do will show you the thing that makes you just move on from that person. It'll be like, because trauma wants to be healed, and it's always going to be there. You can't just say, no, I don't want to. No, trauma needs to be resolved. So if you've healed this part of you, you might meet a man, he ain't gonna have all those things again because you got rid of that piece, but all of it's not gone. So he's still gonna have this thing that's gonna push you to reach right back into that trauma bag, reach right back into that trigger bag, whether it be, oh, he didn't pay the bills this month or something like that, or whatever. It's gonna keep coming back. So you have not healed that, but then now you're telling your daughters, hey, I want you to stay away because this right here. You're teaching them your trauma signals. Now they take that on and they go into the world and they repeat these things, and then they draw the same things in that you have drawn in. And then you wonder why you have a generation that have the same things going on. I've seen 5 generations that all of the children and the mom, they all became teen mothers. All of them. I've seen generations where everybody was an alcoholic. I've seen generations where they all chose men that were abusive. Until somebody says no, right? So you need a community to tell you, to come around you and bring you resources so that you can go in and practice this for yourself. This is the self-awareness, the self-realization moment that is not out there. What's going on, what's not going right is not out there. It's in here. And it's in there from people that you probably don't even know their name that's in your family, but it's up to you to heal that. Because you don't want to you don't want your child to go through that same pain. I had an incurable disease that I saw on my daughter when she was 1 year old. I was like, how can I heal this? Because I do not want her to go through the same pain. I'm almost about to cry. I lived 25 years in pain. I didn't want my daughter to feel that. I had to do something. And I did. I no longer have it, and neither does she. And I know because it hit me when puberty came. She's 16, ain't never seen one. Because I was like, no, you can't have it. So people say they're scared, they don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable because it's really painful to face the fact that you are the issue for the issues that's affecting you. That's the painful part, because you're like, it's got to be somebody's fault. No, it don't. It's got to be your fault. Because see, when you handle it, it never comes back to you that way again, because now you have a 0 point energy about it. I teach that too. 0 point energy about it. You're at an observant. So when you observe, you can't be triggered. So that way that trigger can't work, because you don't even care about that junk no more. You done healed it. Like that trigger gets stuck. And then all of a sudden it goes away. I don't know. I need some water, because I done got real beastie in my voice talking. So exposing yourself, it doesn't need to be, other people don't have to expose you. You have never seen good fruit expose bad fruit. This is what I mean. If you see stuff fall from the ground, you're going to go pick up the good fruit, and the good fruit is going to look good, right? The bad fruit going to tell on itself. That's what happens when you start to put these things into your children. You will know them by their fruit. Your children will start to exhibit those behaviors that's going to draw in the things that you was trying to tell them to stay away from. Because that's what they're thinking. They're thinking it's going to draw it in. It's going to draw it in. So that is why community is so important. That is what has happened to us over the years. It has got us thinking that we telling our business and nobody cares about you. All people want to do is get you vulnerable and then do something bad to you. That's not the way that it is, especially when you have a community around you that cares. I'm creating the Loving Yourself to Life one day workshop for people who really want to build and heal and attract better. You can't have better friends hanging in the old friends' place, having the old friends mindset. You can't do that. So I could talk about this forever because I'm so passionate about it, because if it were not for my community that I had met in 2020, I say this over and over again, there are times where I just really, really would have broken down, and I don't know if I would have ever came back mentally. Take the time. If you have to invest money into yourself, do it. And sometimes when you go into something, you might find that's still a community. That's still a community. But remember, you're building yourself. You have to build yourself to that community phase too, because there's a lot of trauma that has been perpetuated around it. They want you to stay in this cycle of you being by yourself. You have to learn to trust yourself first. See, there's steps to this. And again, I don't mind teaching and telling people and walking people through this. If you have the time, leave a comment below. We can talk about this, because in the Loving Yourself to Life community on graceguidance.com, once it gets started back up, and I'm saying back up because I have some things going on, we can support you through this, because you're going to need help. You're going to need help. It's not I'm by myself and me against the world. No, you need people to be around you. Having an honest chat, creating a productive community, because you also might find somebody in the community that could talk to your daughters or your sons. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to go. As always, this is Jay Chatfield. Do something for you that only you will love. Have a love yourself day, like joining a community.